way. That's not a good word. It's not rude. You don't understand English.
This clip is being brought to you by popular demand in English. Who demanded it? Well, after yesterday's clip from the incident that happened on the BTS where a foreigner was abusing a Thai lady on the train, many Thais in the comment section asked that I would do a clip like this in English so I could let the world know of what happened and the lessons that I talked about yesterday. And then also at the end of the clip today, I'm going to show you some of these comments because it's not me saying it, it's them saying it. And these are probably some of the most pertinent comments and warnings, lessons that they would like any foreigner know who are thinking of coming to Thailand either as a tourist or to live. I don't normally do this in the beginning of a clip, but you can see there my number's almost to 100,000 subs. So if you're watching this, if you enjoy my content, click like, click subscribe and the bell. Let's push it over 100,000 because that means that I can put out much more content for you. And I have a ton of stuff planned. It's really exciting. So help push me over that 100,000 subs mark. Thank you. Okay, let's jump into it. I'll play it in full first and then we'll look at the dynamics bit by bit, just like I did yesterday, but we have some extra context and backup because now we have all of the hundreds and even the thousands of comments from yesterday from real Thais saying how they felt about different bits in here.
You don't understand English. It was not rude. I just said get the out of the way. That's not a good word. It's not rude. You don't understand English.
Excuse me, you were being rude. So just calm down.
Excuse me. You are being rude by not letting people in the train.
It's full.
No, it's not full.
Calm down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you just come from the room.
Shut the Stop yelling at me.
Who is yelling?
You right now?
You too.
No.
Oh ho, as we hear the Thai reporter. Thank you to Khao Tiang Thailat, the midday Thailat news, for putting that clip together and the subtitles you see in Thai there. But that is crazy. But the sad thing is that this is something that we see a lot of in Thailand with foreigners. And what you see here actually hooks into the first two that I mentioned there. So after you watch this clip, go back and have a look at those two clips. I've got subs also on the other one, I think. And you'll see what I mentioned in there about language. So first of all, you get many foreigners coming here to Thailand and they just expect everybody to speak English. Not only that, you see this guy, he's expecting people to speak English like a native and understand the innuendo and everything. And when they don't, you see it having an effect on power. So we're going to have a look at that here, and we'll also look at the cultural implications. So let's go back and I'll go through it step by step.
You don't understand English. It was not rude.
Okay, so this is the crux of where the Thais are really angry. You don't understand English. This one word is probably what triggered so many people in Thailand for many different reasons. One, you don't understand English. It's almost looking down on them. For some people, they've spent a long time learning English. And so if she's tried to use English with him and saying, you don't want to understand English, it's basically looking down on her. It's taking her value away, causing her to lose face. And in Thailand, that could be construed as min or defamation. Maybe that doesn't fall into the defamation that we know in the West, but definitely in Thailand, this is considered min. And this is probably the one word that you see smattered throughout all of the comments in yesterday's video that I put out, that in the eyes of most Thais, this is min, that he's saying just for him accusing her in public, you don't understand English. This is bad enough to put a case against him for min.
In English, it was not rude.
The other thing to notice here, when he says it was not rude, I imagine that this is sort of midway into a situation that's already on the rise. And so him saying it was not rude, maybe he didn't use a rude word in the beginning and it had escalated. So he said it was not rude, because normally in English we would say it wasn't rude, but it was not rude. He must be referring to something that was said before that and he's responding to it, but then it gets rude.
Get the out of the way.
I said, get the out of the way. Okay, if that's what he said, that's rude. No matter where you are, especially if you're in a public place, if you say, get the out of the way, that is rude. And if he's saying it was not rude to these guys, well, he's just taking the piss.
That's not
That's a
rude.
good word.
And now the first Thai lady, that's a rude word. And he's saying it wasn't rude. Listen to his patronizing manner as he's speaking to this first Thai lady. And you'll hear the first Thai lady, her English isn't as fluent as the next lady who jumps in.
Not rude. You don't understand English.
It was not rude. You don't understand English. What a dick. You know, he's just speaking down to her like a child.
No.
Excuse me, you were being rude.
And now this lady jumps in, this second Thai lady, and she's speaking in a more British educated accent. Excuse me, you were being rude. And you can tell that I don't know what these people look like, but I'm imagining she's a Thai that's probably been educated in the UK. She speaks very well and it sounds very educated.
So just calm down.
So just calm down. And she's saying that very politely, very nicely in this kind of British twinged accent.
So just calm down.
Excuse me. You are being rude.
And look at that. Just as soon as she comes in with this polite English, excuse me, just calm down. Were you being rude? And he's all of a sudden changed, and you see the power coming up here. Not only is it level, you see that he almost goes subservient to her, trying to explain now like he is the kid, explaining what the naughty kids in the playground did.
By not letting people in the train.
By not letting people in the train. And he's trying to explain himself and defend his actions.
It's full.
No, it's not full.
She said, it's full. No, it's not full.
Down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you just
And so he's counting the positions that probably people could stand in there because there's enough space in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
3, 4, 5.
so you just come from the room.
Shut the f-
Okay, so she said, you just come from the room. I'm imagining that's the vestibule next door or the next carriage walking in here. And he says, shut the f up. Look at that. And he said it to the first Thai lady whose English wasn't as good as the second. So it's really interesting. So he's here and he's speaking down and using really bad language with a lady who he perceives maybe to be lower than him, maybe because he's perceiving her level of English. But then when the lady who speaks good English, he speaks in a very different way. No matter how you cut it, saying shut the f up or get the f out of the way is rude.
Stop yelling at me.
Stop yelling at me. This is like a kid. I can't believe this is a grown adult. This is like two kids fighting in a playground. Stop yelling at me and dobbing on them to the teacher.
Who is yelling?
This first Thai lady, she's lost it now. And who is yelling? And this is a really good lesson. Many people love Thailand. They call it the land of smiles and everybody's smiling. They're gentle, they're kind, they're nice. But did you know that there are actually 12 or more different types of smile in Thai and only 2 of them are positive? There is this veneer of smiley that the Westerner might perceive as calm and nice and gentle and people are happy. But actually behind it, you've got Yim Yot Yoi, Yim Su, and many of these different kinds of Yim. Yim Yot Yoi is like when you're laughing at somebody's misfortune, kind of like Schadenfreude. And you've got Yim Su, when you smile because you're not going to relent, you will not give up, so you just smile to get through it. There are all of these different smiles and veneers that you will see rendered as a smile. But actually, there's a lot more bubbling down there. And obviously for this lady, that bubbling has boiled over and she just lets loose on him.
Who is yelling?
You.
Who is yelling? She's had it. She can't stand it anymore. This guy's infuriating. And listen to his response.
Yelling.
You right now.
You right now is like a kid. I can't believe this is a grown adult. And later on, the lady who took this video, she said this guy was probably in his 60s. So can you imagine that? This grown adult foreigner in Thailand doing this. It's just, I can't get my head around it.
You too.
No.
No? That's crazy. So that's pretty much the clip. Yesterday's clip in Thai was more about describing the language in the ears and the eyes of a native English speaker because I wanted to tell them that actually it really was rude. But you understand this as English speakers. If you're watching this, what I want you to take away from this is that language. I guess the number one rule, do not perceive somebody's language ability in some language that is not their own as a level of their intelligence. And you see it happening here. And that goes back to those two clips that I put out the other week. Many foreigners come here and they'll use language. They might see somebody that speaks in their mind really good or better English, and so they'll put them in a prominent position. But in the eyes of all of their peers and Thais, maybe they're the least educated, they have the worst judgment, they have a really bad track record. You don't know what's going on there, but just because of the English, that gets them the merit with the foreigners, and that causes many companies to collapse or implode because these kinds of decisions get made by foreigners who actually don't know what's going on under the surface. So language is a big thing. The other thing is that when you're coming to Thailand, why do you expect everyone to speak English? Yeah, English is a global language, but come on. Do you try and speak Thai to them? You're in Thailand, and you'll see this in some of the comments. The third one, culturally, is if you cause any Thai to lose face in front of anybody, especially in public like this would be considered defamation, and it can get very nasty legally, and it can get very nasty physically. And I've seen it happen on both of those levels over the years. Actually, you see it quite a lot. This is not an uncommon thing. And so right now we're going to jump into some of the comments that came up in yesterday's clip, and you'll see it's not just me saying this, Thais are saying this too. So this first clip, now, they're all in Thai, and so you see translations up there. Most of them are in Thai. So I'll read the translation. If I see the translation is a bit off, I might give it some poetic license to be able to correct it and make it sound more like the Thai. So the first one, why do foreigners who come to Thailand not speak Thai even though you're a foreigner entering the country? And I guess that backs up what I just said then. You're coming to Thailand, you don't speak Thai, so why should they speak English to you, even if they could speak English? But instead, they want people in the country to speak a foreign language. I kind of agree. I'm confused by this idea because when we go abroad, we have to speak the language of that country. But when I came to Thailand, or when that person comes to Thailand, almost nobody spoke Thai at all. So I think Google got messed up at the end there, but what it's saying is that when somebody goes overseas, you're expected to speak that language in the country. But for most people coming to Thailand, they just expect everyone's going to speak English to them. And you can see that some Thais are fed up, and it goes throughout the comments yesterday that basically they're saying enough is enough. This is crazy. The next comment, he must be born in a cartel or something to think that that isn't rude. Yeah. Even if you're born in Australia, which is kind of like the old school cartel, we're all convicts, but there are times and places for language, and I can say that in jest. But yeah, you hear some crazy language in Australia, and some Aussies take pride in it, but you wouldn't do it in certain circumstances, and you definitely wouldn't do it when you're traveling to a foreign country with the locals. By the way, thanks Atan Stuart for taking this on. I hope you reach 100k subs very soon. So do I. Please click that subscribe. Push it over the line for me. Thank you very much. The next one. Do not curse Thai people in public. อย่าด่าคนไทยอยู่ที่สาธารณะ ด่า. That means to curse or to scold, to berate, to yell at. ด่า. That's what I used in yesterday's clip in the title. So do not curse Thai people in public. You might take your life home. What he means is not home back to your country, but home up there. You will depart the earth. You might take your life home. If you don't survive, you may not be able to go home to eat with your family. That's pretty strong. Thai people are kind, but if you scold them in public, it says he, but Khao, they will not accept it. Insult his dignity. Insult his dignity, that looks weird, but in Thai, Yam Saksi Khong Khao means basically you have destroyed or ripped his dignity away from him. And so he's got nothing left. He'll go at you, or they will go at you with everything, and that would be justified. So take a snapshot of this, burn it into your soul when you're coming to Thailand. This is probably the golden rule that should follow you through everything you do in Thailand. And the last one that I've got here, have a listen to this, and he just basically lays it on the table. Thailand has 10.3 million legal firearms per 70 million people. So do the math on that. 10.3 million to 7. So that is 7 Thai people have a gun, and 10.3 million that count is only legally registered guns. There are still millions of illegal guns distributed in the hands of the people, and I can tell you that there are many, many guns in this country, and not all of them are registered. And the condition of Thai society as a tropical country makes people angry, and they can lose it easily. And yeah, depending on where you are, there are some places that are more prone to this than others, but it's understood that being hot, people's tempers can be quickly flared, even though on the surface it looks very calm. And so within Thai law, killing somebody out of impulse, the punishment that they'll get is 15 years in prison, but actually they'll serve only 3 to 6 years. So foreigners must not be aggressive like this in the clip. He's saying it, he's laying it out. Do not be aggressive like this in the clip, no matter how you feel. It's very dangerous. This country is often deadly to troublesome tourists and seasoned expats alike. And I would agree, you see it happening all the time to both tourists and expats. When they lose it, they kill the relationship. There's no way of bringing it back. And if you've caused somebody to lose face like that, well, in many cases, that could be the last straw, literally. The body needs force to hit. What does that say at the end? The body needs force. ร่างกายต้องการแรงปะทะ Okay, so basically, the body is sort of locked and loaded, ready to go. And so it's ready to react. And so don't give them an opportunity to react, because if you do and you push it over the edge, the result is going to be pretty harsh. Anyway, that's straight from the Thai's mouths, not me saying it. I hope this has been interesting for you. I hope it's given you food for thought, but also if you see this kind of behavior happening, just stop it and just tell them, hey, put your head in. It's really, really not good. My Cracking Thai Fundamentals book, the subtitle is A Thai Operating System for the Mind. So it's not just language, it's all about the culture and how everything fits in together. And if you're learning the language, but you're not worrying about the cultural bit that clips into that, you may as well not learn the language, because culture is such an integral part of the language. If you haven't got a copy of Cracking Thai Fundamentals, well, you can order it, click in the link below, and also subscribe to the unlimited bundle. It's only like $9 something a month, and you get access to all the Thai resources at J Academy. If you really, really want to learn languages and learn how to learn languages, get your tones up, and especially languages of Asia, well then Minecraft is for you, and I slashed the price of Minecraft as well. That's like a yearly subscription, and it's got everything you'll ever need to know to learn languages of this part of the world. So I hope those help you. Thank you for your support. Like, subscribe, push us over 100,000 subscribers. I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you on the other side.